A battle between police officers and criminals from the Comando Vermelho once again showed the scale of the challenge that organized crime poses to authorities and society. In Rio de Janeiro,
bursts of gunfire, fear in the streets, residents caught in the crossfire. Rio de Janeiro woke up under a lot of tension with a major operation by the civil and military police in the Alemão and Penha complexes in the north zone of Rio.
We have a reality of war with peacetime legislation. Nowhere else in the world has a situation like this war. With our number of rifles, this only happens in Rio de Janeiro during war, not peacetime. The police in Rio de Janeiro do things that no other police force in the world does. The fight we have there against organized crime is not police work anymore. That's already the job of the armed forces of defense. The EPF 135 practically prevented the police from carrying out routine operations. We used to mow the grass, always kept the grass trimmed there. And then after that, for each operation, we could only go in under absolutely exceptional circumstances. They created an indeterminate legal concept which provided great legal security for the police. So, that visibility we used to maintain, especially in those territories with the activity of criminal factions, came to an end. Every time we had to go there, instead of just keeping the grass trimmed, we had to devastate a forest.
More than 130 criminals killed, 110 arrested, and 4 police officers fallen in combat. This is the result of Operation Containment, carried out on October 29, 2025 by the security forces of Rio de Janeiro. The operation is already considered the deadliest in the state's history. It revealed the civil and military police's ability to confront organized crime even without needed federal support. The scene is urban warfare, featuring improvised armored vehicles, constant helicopters, and elite battalions. Meanwhile, the population lives among armed factions, weak laws, and a political system that appears to ignore the situation's seriousness. In this special video from Life in the Barracks, we will show some facts and let you analyze the situation. Welcome to Barracks Life.
It's a historic day, a different day. For the military police, it's the largest mobilization in the history of the military police in terms of logistics, intelligence, and human resources. It's a mission that will demand a lot from us. It's a challenge for all of you, and we will need courage, determination, and strength. It's a place, as has already been told to you, that is dominated by a criminal organization that imposes terror. It's the oppression of people in that region who resist state power. This is the moment for us to show our strength, gentlemen. Do not underestimate the enemy. Do not underestimate the danger. This is the moment when the troops will show that a united and prepared force will overcome the obstacles, so that we can impose the strength of the state, the strength of the military police. Count on this commander. Count on all the resources of the military police. We will be together in this endeavor.
The Brazilian president has already declared that there will be no law and order operation in his administration, despite ongoing requests from the Rio governor for armed forces support.
They were not requested this time because we have already had 3 refusals. So we already understand that the policy is not to give in. They said there has to be a GLO, that there has to be this, that there has to be that they could lend the armored vehicle, and then they couldn't lend it anymore because the operator of the armored vehicle is a federal employee. So there had to be a GLO. And the president already said he's against GLO, so what now?
I don't want the armed forces, in the favela, fighting with criminals. That's not the role of the armed forces. And as long as I'm president, there won't be any GLO.
The federal government denied 3 armored vehicle requests. Justice and Public Security Minister Ricardo Lewandowski said he authorized deploying the national force. But this force is not prepared for the kind of confrontation that happens in the communities of Rio. On several occasions, the national force itself had to be rescued by the local police.
The Rio de Janeiro military police recovered the weapons stolen from a national force team. The officers were robbed after accidentally entering a community.
This shows that fighting crime in Rio needs knowledge of the area, strategy, and courage, traits the state's police have shown with determination. During the operation in the Alamo and Penha complexes, more than 100 rifles were seized, revealing that Brazil's borders remain vulnerable to the entry of heavy weaponry. These rifles are not manufactured in Rio, which raises questions about national arms control and the actions of federal authorities. Elite troops such as Batalhão de Operações Policiais Especiais, Coordenadoria de Recursos Especiais, the K-9 Battalion, and the Military Police, Shock Battalion, were on the front lines, with reinforcements from specialized police units and officers from the state of Pará who were searching for fugitive criminals. The operation was precise, but fighting crime requires more than just occasional operations. An integrated security policy is needed with real investments and firm decisions.
The guys are getting stronger, arming themselves, changing strategy, and building barricades. Damn, wake up! Finally, they woke up. The decision came. Now, this plan to retake the territory won't just be the police's responsibility. Now the Department of Public Safety is leading, right? Heading up this issue. But civil police, military police, we're calling on all the other actors. That means municipalities, the state itself, and the federal government. I'm about to say something I don't think I've ever told him, though I might have mentioned it elsewhere. But you know that we asked for support from the federal government, just logistical support, armored vehicles. We asked for the Navy's armored vehicles so we could get through those barricades. Today, what are the barricades? True works of engineering? It's no longer just a railroad track stuck there or a pile of wooden boards thrown in the middle of the street. No, not like it used to be.
The Brazilian president's statement that criminals are victims of addicts surprised even his allies.
Reviewed the rest of his statements, continuing.
The users are responsible for the dealers who are also victims of the users.
The users are responsible for the dealers who are victims of the users. I speak for myself and I speak as a user. I never forced anyone to do anything. I just asked if they had any... What is this, my God? Imagine that. Now, the dealer is going to file a police report against the addict. I explained the story. I was there at my house. He showed up at my place with 150 rays right in my face. I want 3 grams.
On October 27, 1970, Red Command criminals invaded Quitanda slum controlled by the Vival faction. They took a 60-year-old woman hostage. Later, she was executed. She was murdered. They also killed a 30-year-old man who had no connection to drug trafficking. Without any irony, in Minister Lewandowski's opinion, this action does not constitute an act of terrorism. Without irony, according to President Lula. These criminals who killed this 60-year-old lady are actually the real victims. The executioners are the marijuana users. Or, as the president rightly said, the addicts, the potheads.
It may be easier for us to handle our addicts internally. The users are rich. They are responsible for the traffickers, who are also victims of the users.
Meanwhile, Rio remains the epicenter of a crisis that mixes violence, institutional neglect, and police resistance. The war against crime will not be won with speeches, but with concrete actions. The police in Rio are prepared, but can't fight alone. Brazil needs to rethink public security. With political courage, adjustments to the legislation, and respect for the lives of citizens and the agents who risk everything to protect society and are not recognized. Join the debate and share your thoughts.
For some, it's just another number. 4 more names lost in the middle of chaos, but for those left behind, it's their world that collapses. For the family, it's the silence at breakfast. For the friend in uniform, it's the radio that will never call again. And for me, it's the pain of seeing the squad bleeding again, without the support they deserve. Heber, Clayton, Marcos, Rodrigo, they're not statistics. They're men who chose to fight for all of us. Men who believed it was still worth defending Rio, even when the state seemed to have given up on it. Today, Rio de Janeiro bleeds, as do all police officers who risk their lives on the streets. Every mother, every wife, every child bleeds, waiting for the return of a hero who will never come back. May we always remember these brothers' sacrifice. May the state look after those who wear this uniform with honor and courage.